able to give the audience what they pay for is a pretty big success for me. I mean, comedians are crazy in general. If I have a string of bad shows 7 nights in a row, like, I wouldn't be here right now feeling the way I feel. If you know how to get an HBO special, please let me know. I would really like to do that one day.
You're watching Wareham here at WCTV with me, your host, Queen Banda. Today with me is Mike Fahey, a comedian. So this is actually going to be a funny show, right?
I certainly hope so.
So we're going to get to know Mike, to know his journey towards comedy. You know, why did he pick comedy? Yes, it's funny. And how does he, how are things going for him so far? So we can start. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
You dropped your mic.
I did. I dropped it. I was going to try to be smooth and pretend that it didn't happen, but it totally did.
It's okay.
I'm wondering if we're still good.
It fits with our segment.
I'm going to hold this here now.
You're going to hold
it like a responsible adult.
You don't speak with your hands, do you?
I don't. Sometimes I do. I'm going to now that you mentioned it.
Because I do. So if I'm holding a mic, you're all going to see that I'm holding a mic.
Oh, yeah.
We do a lot of this.
Yeah, if I hold a microphone on stage, usually you can see my right hand firmly gripped on the mic stand just to stop, just have it there, just to
have
hold
it there to hold.
my wall between me and the audience. It's usually how it works.
Wow.
It's a comfort thing.
It's a comfort thing.
A lot of people don't say that that's probably not the best way to perform. You know, you want to use your hands and be more animated and stuff like that, and I do that, but a lot of the time I'm gripping that for dear life just to...
Wow. Now, you mentioned something interesting. You said you went to college not for comedy. You went to college like any student from high school. Yep. You go to college, and then you did that for a little bit, and then you discovered that this is not for me.
I did. I went to Mount Wachusett Community College for a semester, and I just stopped going to continue to do comedy and, obviously get a full-time job because money is important.
Yes.
But I did that for a little bit, and then I kind of dropped off and started doing comedy as much as I could at night.
So what happened in that journey in between that you said, you know what, I have to do comedy?
I would say it was with my wife at first. The first moment when I decided to do comedy, she was unaware of the decision that I made. But she brought me to a comedy show. We were friends at the time. She brought me to a comedy show in Boston. They did I don't know if you know, it's the Theater District, and they have Remingtons, and underneath the Remingtons there's a place called Dick Doherty's in the basement of a old bank vault. They had 4 or 5 comedians who I still know today. I almost dropped the mic again. They were performing, and I just kind of thought to myself, that'd be a cool idea to do. And then I went to an open mic every night the rest of that week, so the show was on a Sunday, and I bombed terribly on every single one. I was not funny at all.
Well, okay, what were you talking about that wasn't funny?
Anything at all. I just was kind of presenting things that I thought that the audience would think was funny to them, and then...
Like what?
I don't even remember. It would be a bad show if I said it again. But I didn't do well, but I got my first laugh at the end of those 5 nights, and I decided that it was the thing I wanted to do.
So all the non-laughs, that did not tell you that, okay, this is not what I should be doing, but that one laugh just made you feel confident enough?
The feeling I got when I got the laugh was something I had never experienced before, and I told my wife that, and she just looked at me and was like, "We should have never went to that comedy show because this is the thing you're going to do now," and it is, and she's very supportive of me, but at the same time, it does take a lot out of you, which is late nights and early mornings when I was working and stuff like that. So.
Now, how bad was your major in college that decided to push
Communications is bad at any major in college.
Oh my, come on. I went for communications.
Yeah, but you're successful, so it's fine.
So what kind of communications did you take that you really pushed your age?
Maybe we can just blame it on Mount Wachusett Community College for their lack of keeping me entertained, or maybe my ADHD, but I just
Yeah,
couldn't really,
a lot of factors, right? A lot of things.
couldn't keep my butt in the school chair, so.
You took a certain class that you really didn't like.
Yeah, I took a contract law class, which was the most boring thing you can think of, but it did help me so I can actually write my own performance contracts and stuff like that. So.
Oh, so they teach you how to write contracts and all?
No, but I kept the book. I didn't return it.
Well, you're confessing a lot of things.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Trying to be a pretty open person.
Yeah. Now, okay, what does your family, your friends think about your path to comedy?
I think a lot of people, when you ask like a comedian about their close relationships, how those people feel about them doing comedy, I think a lot of them would respond as confused. Usually, if I go to a family dinner of some sort, people will ask me if I'm still doing that comedy thing, which is not the correct. I'm like, no, that's actually how I make a living now.
Yes, comedy.
If they don't see you on some late night show somewhere, they don't think that you're successful. But I think success can be painted in a lot of different pictures when you're a comedian. So,
what's your idea of success?
Doing this full time, making enough to pay for swimming lessons for my stepkids is probably a good low bar to set for myself at this point. But you know, being able to give the audience what they paid for is a pretty big success for me. I take it by night basis.
You can't teach them how to swim yourself?
What's that?
You can't teach them how to swim?
I got taught by my dad just pushing me in the deep end, so I really don't think that that's a good way to go
Well, you
about
survived. You're here. You can
I
swim,
know.
right?
Barely.
Oh, okay.
I'm a doggy paddler at best.
Because you could save that money.
Yeah. But, you know, just being able to support my family enough to keep things financially settled at home is pretty much a success for me. Or doing a show and doing the best that I can do at that show at that time. I think a lot of times when you go into an audience, when you're a comedian, you're first starting out, you don't know how the show's going to go. And then you get there and you're like, no, because it's not set up for comedy. So whenever I do a private gig or I set up a room around Massachusetts with our company, you know, I try to go in early and make the room's atmosphere set up as most.
How
as
are they
I can
supposed
for
to be
comedy.
set up? What's the right way, correct way?
I have learned that the best way to set up a room for comedy is you want a really intimate atmosphere. So you can have, you know, obviously you want a stage, you want lighting, and you want the audience members to be really close together, close to the stage. A low ceiling is preferable. I've heard multiple times that if the audience is physically uncomfortable, you get a better response from them. And I believe that to be true, but at the same time, you don't want to make people feel physical uncomfort. So
wow.
It ranges. There's a lot of factors that sometimes people don't think about that you can, if you get them close, it's more intimate and you can feel connected with them. And when you feel connected with them, the thing that you find funny and you're presenting with them, they are also going to jump on board with you. So it's an atmosphere thing, and it's also...
So next time, I'll keep that in mind. If I feel all trapped, I know that this was done in purpose.
You can get a good laugh if you feel like you're in a cage, I guess.
Well,
I don't necessarily believe that, but yeah.
We'll have to put that on test. Now,
yeah, Miguel, he's been going to AA, and when you go to AA, they say, you know, you start feeling things again. I really can't wait until Miguel starts feeling all that chlamydia he got. Dave Stern's here. Why? Like 3 comics told me they were gonna say that, and I just felt like I really needed to add on. Dave, why the fuck are you here? This is not the elderly Make-A-Wish. I was gonna tell more roast jokes about you, but I just forgot about you. Generally, like your wife. You look like Mr. Feeney. If all of his students fucking hated him because he kept fucking his students.
Now, looking back on your journey, can you think of people who inspired you to be a comedian?
My wife is always the example that I give just because she's the hardest working person I know. She wakes up at 4:30 in the morning and runs 3 miles a day. We have a stepson with special needs. I have a stepson, she has a son with special needs, and she's at it with him, just working hard to create a caring, loving relationship with her kids. And I do the same thing. She works all day, she works from home, and she'll be up half the night working, and she'll still get up at 4:30 in the morning to do that same thing. So
you don't join her in the run? I
do not. I wouldn't be able to keep up with her, first of all, but also I would slow her down. She would end up carrying me over the end of that. She's pretty good. But yeah, she's the biggest inspiration for me. Comedically, I mean, you can name 1,000 comedians that inspire you. I think I get inspired by the comedy community as a whole.
Okay.
So the Boston community is a place where I started out. The Rhode Island, Cape Cod areas where I ventured out to build the hour of comedy that I have now. And those two communities are separate, but being a part of both of them is a really big thing.
Now, you perform a lot at Buzzards Bay, Play Productions?
I did. I don't anymore. AJ and I had a company. We're not a company anymore together. I now own and partner with Frank Gazzaro for Laughing Gas Comedy. And with me and AJ, it was just business is getting away with friendship. We're having less fun together. So we're just going to be goofballs instead of business partners.
Now, when you are interacting with other comedians, is it a matter of you're trying to learn what they're doing on stage, or rather than feeding in each other's energy?
You mean in a show, or when you're
show,
just talking?
Or like talking, or before the show, if it's a big show and then it's like one comedian after the other.
Yeah.
How is that environment like?
Usually what I've found is that the show is in the green room. So backstage, you can get a litany of comedians together and sit them down, and they're all nervous and they're about to perform. And when you think of that scenario, you think like everybody's quiet and they're writing in their notebooks or they're looking at their phones. But back there, it's just who can get the biggest laugh and who can, make fun of the person next to them the hardest. And it's an energy where you feel like you're a part of something that not many other people can understand, because we're all there and we know we have to go perform in this high anxiety environment, and we're just there and we're trying our best. That's what we do when we get nervous, is we pause for laughs.
Have you ever been made fun of?
Yes, constantly. I don't know. I'm a comedian and I'm around comedians all the time, so getting crap from them is the thing that happens on a regular basis.
So you don't take it personal at all?
No, you can never take it personally. I mean, if a comedian's making fun of you and they're getting really down into the things that you don't like about you, you know it's done with love, and that person knows you pretty well. So.
Okay, so with comedy, do you laugh at your own daily problems?
I do, yeah. I mean, we have situations at home. I don't go out every night anymore to do comedy, but in my family life, there's just an enormous amount of laughter that we can gain out of any situation. Where if we're making dinner, kids are trying to do homework, they're both melting down. My wife's getting frustrated with me because I'm trying to cook dinner and failing miserably, and then she's trying to do the dishes and I loaded the dishwasher wrong again, which is a thing I do on a regular basis, but I say that I need to load the dishwasher. We kind of just take a moment and we say, you know what, this is a crazy situation, but it's pretty funny because he's spinning around in a circle in the kitchen and the food is burning, so we can just laugh. Just gotta laugh at that point. And it's funny because, she's funnier than I am in most situations.
Now, is it your family members? Do you think that they are a little bit cautious of the way they act around you? I'm talking about maybe your siblings or cousins, because they know now you're a comedian, so they don't want to end up in a stage.
That's the biggest part of my act is my family. So I talk about them a lot, and I talk about, you know, my wife and my stepkids and stuff like that, and they know that it's going to happen. The first time when my parents came to see a show, they were very surprised about how much I actually talked about them, and how much of it was not a lie, and the reaction that I got from the audience from it. And you know, they know not to take it personally, because my family we grew up giving each other crap over and over again. Now I just have an audience that's listening, so it's good.
Wow. So, okay, let's talk about the shows that you have done so far.
We do a lot of private events, so I book a lot of corporate stuff. So I'll go and they'll have like a holiday party or something like that, and you got to go in and create comedy in a work environment, so you have to be clean. And I did a lot of work in that area. I've done all the clubs in Boston, Laugh Boston, Comedy Studio, Nick's Comedy Stop. I did the Rhode Island Comedy Connection a few weeks ago, which was nice. I got to go to Stand Up Scottsdale and do comedy down there, and now we're producing our own show. So this tomorrow actually is a show that Frank and I for Laughing Gas are producing in Worcester at the Lock 50 restaurant. So the guy opened up the restaurant and wants to have a comedy show. He contacted us, and we kind of put it on and try to gain a little more business on a night where there wouldn't be a lot of business to begin with.
Yeah, very good. Now, what do you think it takes for, you know, performing in local towns, local bars and all that, to having a special, like let's say on HBO, because they tend to be mostly on HBO?
Well, if you know how to get an HBO special, please let me know. I would really like to do that one day. But I think just kind of going out and doing it over and over again every night is a big thing. If you want to produce a show in a bar, you know, don't book just yourself for 6 months, because no one wants to listen to me talk for an hour and a half. You know, I can get them for 45 minutes to an hour. If I go a little bit past that point, they're done with me. So, you know, being part of the community and knowing the people who are working hard and getting up every night and getting better as comedians and putting them on stage in front of an audience, I think is the best way to be successful producing a show. As far as getting better myself, I just write all the time.
You write all the time.
And I get up on stage as much as I can.
Nice.
And that's it, constantly.
Constantly. So it's not fun for you?
Comedy?
Yeah.
No, I love comedy. I know that it's early in the morning, so it don't necessarily seem like I'm chipper about it.
It's early in the morning?
For me.
It is.
You grab my coffee.
It is almost 1. I know it's very early in the morning.
But yeah, no, I love comedy because it's a passion for me, where I can get up and talk about my life and try to present it in a funny way to people. And I get to feel that connection with an audience. And when I do get it, it's amazing. And I'll lose sleep over it. I don't sleep much to begin with, just because you work all the time and you do that kind of stuff. So I love it to death. Maybe quite literally, I don't know, but that kind of thing is.
And I think you have to be prepared when you love something this much that it can go both ways, because like comedy, you're putting yourself out there for people.
Oh yeah, you're only as good as your last show. I mean, comedians are crazy in general. If I have a string of bad shows 7 nights in a row, like, I wouldn't be here right now feeling the way I feel. So you gotta just kind of put yourself out there, and it's like running into a brick wall over and over again.
So what's the next move? What do we have to look forward for?
Getting our company off the ground, Laughing Gas Comedy, producing as many shows as we can. I'm gonna keep doing corporate gigs. Come to Worcester, please. It's gonna be great.
Can you give us a little taste of Worcester?
I can direct you to our Facebook link. I can't perform on contact. I gotta get warmed up. big thing that I do. I have to get in the right mindset.
You have to get in the right mindset. Okay.
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes me about an hour to get ready to perform.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of.
What do you say? You get a massage and then.
No, sometimes I just sit in my car and in silence and try to get relaxed enough to get on stage. Deep breaths, talk to my wife, do all that kind of stuff. Very anxious person. I'll take it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so definitely you're not going to be doing the last comedian standing.
Last comic standing?
Yeah.
If you know anybody, I'll totally do
You
that.
said you don't want to perform under pressure.
No, I do. I just have
I don't
trouble
think
with it.
They got time to sit in their car for an hour and talk
I'll
to
sit
their
in the
wife.
car. I'll get there early. That's what I usually do.
Okay.
You got to mentally prepare for any performance, especially I've been doing hours now,
Yeah.
so I've been doing like an hour set, which is really difficult just to be able to, I have the material for it, but to remember it all is a little difficult. And, if you get an audience where you feel connected, it becomes so easy. But if you can't connect with the audience, then it gets a little more difficult and you have to get them on your side.
And it's very important to get connected as soon as you can.
For me, it is. I operate the best when I feel, that everybody's on the same page and it's like a little close-knit family meeting of some sort that we're all laughing at. But that's when I perform the best, is when I'm closest with the audience. So.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. And I'm
Thank
sorry to bring you here so early.
Oh yeah, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Silly,
so early.
silly me. I'm
We'll
telling
sleep
you.
next time.
Yes, yeah, maybe next time we can do it at 6 p.m. or something like that. Would that be okay for you?
6 a.m. is like the end of my night, so it's good.
Okay, all right. Well, so you heard all of that. I shouldn't add much because he explained himself very well. Okay, once again, I want to say thank you so much for watching Wareham here at WCTV with me, your host, Queen Banda. Our guest today was Mike Fahey, and he's a comedian. So, as you heard, he has a few shows lined up, so go to his website and check him out and get to see him in person and hear his jokes and get to be part of that little tight family meeting you explained?
Yeah, I guess
Tight
so.
family meeting that we could all laugh about. Okay. Well, thank you so much once again and have a pleasant day. Bye. That wasn't bad.
No, not at all. I'm wearing a shirt for this.
You don't do a oh, thank you. Thank you for wearing a shirt. You should just be, yes, you should just